Am I still on? Blocker is my guest. He's a DJ. He travels the world doing that. He's also a personal coach that you need. Buckle up and welcome aboard. Planning this for a little while. Mike's been traveling the globe doing the DJ, the producer forgot to stop the music. Thank you. That's M Factor in the background. Thank you, Jay Beatty, for your precision in making me a flawless intro package. Mike Blocker, how are you, my friend? How you feeling? It's good to have you back in the country. You're looking tanned as usual.
Good to be back. Life is beautiful. And it's another beautiful day here in paradise.
Yeah, it's hot again. We've been the last few days we've been getting a break from it. You know, I notice it's been below 75 degrees at night. I'm craving winter again already because I'm 5 shower a day guy, and I soak through my shirt in 20 minutes doing an interview, and I hate the air conditioning, so I'm working through it. But you don't have to shovel it. There's no SAD here, no seasonal affected disorder or whatever they call that, you know, and I'm still getting used to the time. Claudia's in on YouTube. What up, girl? My internet wife is watching on YouTube. I'm craving the winter because, you know, I'm climatized to some extent, but driving, like I got a 2:00 appointment in Casa Linda today. In driving there, it'll be like driving into a blow dryer. It's just, you can't believe that it's ever that hot in one place. You know what I mean? But you don't have to shovel it. And, that's what I was getting to. This is, there's no 9:00 sunsets. There's 7:30 sunsets, but that's as late as it gets. Like June 21st, the longest day of the year, when the sun's going down back at home at 9:00, it's been dark for an hour and a half here. So when I had a client that was in town from Canada, and he was talking to someone, and they go, no, basically it's 7 to 7 here, give or take 30 or 45 minutes. The sun comes up 6:30 to 7 in the morning, goes down 6:30 to 7 at night. 7:30 is the latest it goes down. So I'm kind of getting used to it, but yeah, you don't have to worry about the winter depression setting in. I'm actually looking forward to winter.
Yeah, well, here's a funny story. I've been in this place I've been in here for about 10, 11 days, and I try to save money and not run the AC all day, so I was opening these windows. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't know until today when the housekeeper came that the big windows I have, one side doesn't have a screen and the other side does. And I was just opening it this way with the side. I didn't know the side with the screen opens. So I was opening the non-screen side. So mosquitoes were coming and eating me up all night long. Wow. And I was like complaining about the mosquitoes. And then she comes in and she just closes, open the window. I'm like, how stupid am I? I didn't know. There's a screen.
That's one thing I love about my building is they spray for bugs and insects, and I'm on the main floor and I still don't get mosquitoes. Like that's not a thing here. But I keep my screens closed all the time. But I very rarely, the only time I get eaten is when I go down to George's. and I'm sitting by the bar and dusk settles in and then your ankles start itching because those no-see-ums are attacking you. And it's not like home. The mosquitoes, when they land on you, you don't feel it. When they penetrate you or bite you or whatever they're doing, you don't feel that. You just feel it after they're gone. So you can't even kill one when they land on you. It's not like a North American mosquito.
Oh, and they're so small here.
Yeah.
A lot of them are tiny.
Yeah.
You don't even notice them.
No-see-ums, yeah.
So yeah.
So
What do
like,
you, oh, no-see-ums. That's what you call them.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. When the worst thing you complain about is the heat and the mosquitoes, you're doing okay, right? You don't have to worry about your government oppressing you. You don't have to worry about...
and you can't drink the tap water.
No.
That will give you Montezuma's revenge.
Although I have worked up to rinsing my mouth with tap water. I only used to do it with bottled water. And everyone's like, no, I do that all the time. We rinse our salad. We rinse our salads in tap water. I don't know. I haven't got any stomach problems since I've been here. And when I was watching my salads getting prepared, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. We use tap water for that. And they're like, no, you don't need tap water for rinsing lettuce.
The one time I got sick, I think, was because it was either three things I was using the tap water for: coffee, and I thought that'd be okay.
No.
And I was using it for ice cube.
No.
All
bad.
So yeah, one of them got me sick.
Yeah, because you think that your water's getting boiled in that coffee maker, but it's not actually killing anything.
No, I realized that. Yeah.
But pasta, anything like that is no problem. It hasn't been for me anyway. But anyways, let's get caught up with what Blocker's been up to, man. Where you been? What have you been doing on your travels around the world? Where you been, bro? Because we haven't even had the time to catch up.
We last did one of these shows. As you know, I was DJing on the cruise ship for a while, a couple months out. And as amazing and wonderful as a job that was, it has its downside because you do the same trip over and over again for the most part. So you go to the same ports, but with different groups of people. So it was a great experience to be out. And I did get to visit in the 2 months I was out. I visited a total of 10 new cities that I had not been to, and 4 countries, 10 cities, 4 countries. So that was great. And I got to DJ for thousands of people on the cruise ship. So it was wonderful. And then other than that, I was doing I have 3 sources of income. I'm a DJ, a life coach, and I also do some production, management, audiovisual technician work. So, and 2 of those jobs allowed me to travel. So my AV job, I was doing some work the past couple of months. I was in Vegas twice. I did a job in Nashville. I did 2 jobs in New Orleans, a bunch of jobs in Atlanta, a job in Charlotte. So, I would get my fair share of frequent flight miles from work traveling. And I'm back here in DR for about a month and a half this time, just to recharge, hang out, and just enjoy my life.
What's the audio visual component of your income entail? Like, what are you actually doing? Production, or are you set up, or both?
I set up. I'm an AV technician, audiovisual technician. I do audio, so I'm like an audio. I don't call myself an audio engineer, but I can do big room meetings, big sound systems, line arrays, systems, mix for bands. I can do sound for bands as well. I do LED walls. That's my favorite thing to do. And sometimes I just work conferences as a lead tech or breakout room operator. Sometimes I'm just the lead. They bring me in to white glove their clients. They got those high-end clients. I got some people that call me just of my people skills. So it's a lot of customer service, more customer service than it is tech support sometimes. And that's what I do. I do a lot of conferences, conventions, and meetings around the country.
Nice.
I got clients I've been doing their conference for 15, 17 years. Same kind, every year I do it. So that's one of my passions that I love.
Nice. And on the coaching side of things, who are you picking up, and what are you finding that people are asking for help with normally?
Well, I mostly just coach on relationships, right? I'm a relationship coach. And so it's just all relationships, period. Because here's my belief. Life is nothing but a series of relationships. first starting with your relationship with your parents, mom, dad. Then you start to develop your relationship with yourself. And from there, you have relationships with your siblings, family members, and classmates, coworkers, so on and so forth, wife, children. But it's all relationships. So when I discovered this in my 20s, I said, you know what? I want to master relationships, because if you're good at relationships, you're going to have a good life. So I do any type of relationship, but most people come to me for coaching in intimate relationships, romantic relationships.
Okay.
And mostly women, surprisingly, are the ones.
Okay.
It seems like a lot of men don't believe that they need support in relationships. And they're like, I'm a man, I got this, kind of thing. But women will hire me or hire a coach to get support. And it's also because women they want the fairy tale way more than men do, the Cinderella type relationship. So women are willing to pay me or other coaches or whoever to support them. So most of my clients have been females, is who tends to hire me the most. Females probably between the age of mid 30s up until late 50s. And I got a pretty good success rate at supporting these women and getting into relationships. And then I also help couples who are, love on the rocks, as I like to say it,
Okay.
And they'll call me and I can help them get complete, clear out all the muck and the things that aren't working from the past and create a new plan as a couple. So I do that as well, help couples create the life they want. And then I also just general coaching is I consider myself your best life coach. So I support people in creating the best life that they can have and being a better version of themselves. So that's what I do. That's what I specialize in. I love it. I love it. It's the dream job that I would do for free, even if I didn't make money. And I quite often do coach for free. Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, before I forget, in the chat, I don't know if you need anything. I put the link. If anyone listening to this would like to book a free discovery call, I put it in the chat. And I meant to get it to you early. I'm sorry, Jim. So I don't know if you can add that, drop that down into the comments.
Yeah.
And I'm going to post it on Facebook with this. But yeah, that's the free chat. You go into my Calendly link, look in there and book a free discovery call. And I am accepting new clients right now. I have a few slots available. So I'm looking. And just to let you guys know, every now and then, I always have at least one pro bono or free client that I coach for free always. I have one. And when I get complete, I always take on another one. So you never know. You might be my next free client, but you won't know until you at least do that discovery call with me. So take a moment and grab that link.
I appreciate your communication. When you say getting complete, I almost forget that you're a landmark forum and curriculum graduate. I mean, you've even gone on. I didn't do I did some seminars and stuff like that, but I think you went through a lot of the coaching programs. I did the forum twice. I did the advanced course. I'd like to do the advanced course a second time because the forum, my second time through, I was like, yeah, okay, I already got this. But the advanced course was amazing. I'd like to take that a second time. Tell me a little bit about the foundation, that landmark forum, and the technology they gave you, the distinctions they gave you. Man, that fear exercise was just unbelievably transformational for me. And I can't remember, you remember when they told you, pick your greatest issue that you want to work on, write about it, write more, expand on it more, get hypothetical, get imaginative, use your imagination, write. Let's say it's an issue with your mom. My mom's narcissistic. Just write. And then I'm giving away a little bit of the course here, but I think it's a cool little insight, and I've told this story before. Then they get you to read what you've written. That is powerful. And you read it, and then they tell you read it, and now you're reading it to your partner that you're facing. You're facing each other. You both got your scripts about what you want to work on, and you read it, and you read it, and you read it. I don't know how many times they make you read this thing, but by the 10th or 12th time of reading this, the words on the page don't look like your handwriting anymore. It sounds like somebody else wrote it. It sounds like a comedy script, and you can't even get through it because it sounds so ridiculous. You can't even believe that you just finished writing all this stuff. It's like somebody else was writing a fictional novel, and you've just been reading it out. It's amazing that I can't remember what that distinction was, but there's so many powerful distinctions in the landmark form. That was the one that moved me the best. I can't even remember what I wrote about, but I do remember not being able to recognize my own handwriting after reading it so many times. It was like, I did not write this. Tell me about the little...
Wow. Well, we did that exercise. I've done that a few times. It was slightly different when I did mine. They had us write the letter about something that, as it was presented to in my form, write a letter to someone that you're incomplete with, about someone that did you wrong or offended you, or like write that. And so I wrote my letter, and then we had to go back and read it. And then he said, circle everything on that page that's a fact. So we had to circle all the facts.
Okay.
So I had like a page and a half with 2 facts. Everything else was story, it was just stuff that I made up about it.
Yeah.
And so that exercise gets you present to how much we make up stories about life. That it's not what really happened. It's just our story. It's our interpretation. And so that's one of the big distinctions that I did get from doing that work, is that there's what happens, and then there's the story about we make up about it.
Mm-hmm. Meaning-making machines.
Yeah, I'm present to when I'm in a story about something.
Mm-hmm.
And quite often, the stories we make up are disempowering stories.
Definitely.
We make stories that limit us, that keep us small, that keep us in fear, keep us paralyzed. We make up things so it's weird when you consider it, that we limit our own selves. We limit the possibilities. We limit the love and the affinity and the connection we have. And so being in this work, I've gotten so much. I was on a landmark course last night, as a matter of fact. And I recently, I'll share this with you, Jim. This is for you and anybody listening. I highly recommend the communications course. I just completed one 3 weeks ago, the second How to Create.
Okay, good.
And it was well worth the $800, whatever I paid for it. It was well worth it. And one of the things, or the biggest thing that I got that I walked away from, is even me as a life coach, as powerful and all the training I have, I can't read the label when I'm in the pickle jar. I couldn't see some of the areas in my own life, my blind spots, and it came up in this course where I realized that I have some people that I'm not complete with, that I didn't do the work to get complete. I just was like, I'm not gonna. And so what I learned in this course is when you hold on to any low level negative energy, any incompletions, they impact other areas of your life. So there was, say, for example, this gentleman that owes me $500 and he hasn't paid my money, and I was upset, but I haven't ever gotten angry with him. I never really expressed, I just asked him for money, he didn't. And I kind of just, but it was in my space. When I wrote down a list of all the people that I needed to get complete with, he came up, and I realized that I just hadn't addressed it. But every time I think about this person, my energy gets low. I get upset, I get aggravated. I'm like, oh, that guy, And so let's say if I'm having an interaction with you and he pops into my mind, my energy level just went down. Mm-hmm. And that shifts my experience with you and how you relate to me and feel to me. Even though I might not even say it out loud, I still am present to that energy from this experience. So one of the things that I really benefited from this work, personal development work, is to let go, get complete, give up something. I always say spiritual development is always subtraction, never addition. So I ask my clients to every day ask yourself, what can you give up? Especially when you get confronted or you're in a upset. If you're in an argument with your girlfriend and you're upset, the first thing you should ask yourself is, what can I give up so that this is resolved? Not that person needs to do, because no matter how many sit-ups your girlfriend does, you will never get a 6-pack. Okay. No matter how many. So you got to work on you to make you the best version of yourself, to have your best life. It's not what the other person does. So to answer your question a little more specific, so Landmark, I can comfortably say it kind of saved my life. Landmark Education, Landmark Worldwide. I hit a low point. I got divorced. I was rock bottom. I tried to smoke it away, drink it away, sex it away, avoid it, and repress and suppress all these emotions. And they kept coming up, and I was crying on dates. I'd be on a date with a beautiful woman, and I would just start crying because she's like, what is wrong with you?
Wow.
So I realized I need some help, and my best friend got me into Landmark. And so it's been great. It's just been an amazing community of people, that I've met. I have friends all over the world now, graduate friends, and I'm always in the program. I've done 3 landmark programs this year already, and I'm going to do TMLP in November. I'm joining that.
Oh, nice.
Team management leadership program, and it's been great. I mean, I just love it. It's one of the best things that I ever got. And a lot of my phone ring. A lot of my coaching friends are landmark graduates, and sorry about that.
It's great. It's great when you've got friends that have taken the technology, because you have a basis of understanding of language and accountability that you can't get away with. And I sat with you for 10 minutes, not even, before I said, wait, you didn't take the landmark forum, did you? And you're like, hell yeah, I did. Yeah, I've done this. I've done the wisdom course. I've done the communication course. I'm like, dude, I can't even believe that I can spot someone within the first 10 minutes and go, are you a graduate? Did you do the work? It's kind of like cultish, you know what I mean? But in a good way. And I had, I think it's the closeness exercise. I'm not sure if that's fear. Maybe the fear exercise is something different. But they stand you on a line where you're facing your partner, and you're no more than 6 inches away from them. And the challenge is to stare into each other's eyes for an uncomfortable period of time.
It's called the Be With exercise.
Be With, that's right. Yeah. And so I had just an absolutely gorgeous human being. He was Nigerian, and he had hazel eyes. And to top it all off, I'm pretty sure his name was Damien. And I was freaking out, man, because I was just uncomfortable all the way around. And I don't know how long you have to stare into this stranger's eyes or not, but like I said, his eyes were like fire. They were hazel and orangish hue to them. And anyway, I struggled through this session, and some people laugh, some people cry, and you're just supposed to hold this gaze. Well, afterwards, when I spoke to this guy, he's like, you had this wall up, and for 5 minutes or so, I was trying to break through your wall, and I couldn't get in. And then all of a sudden, I felt you just give up. And I was like, I went right into your body, through your eyes, like I felt myself go like into your soul type of thing. I know it sounds kind of hokey pokey, but he says, I felt exactly when you gave up and just let me in. And I'm like, I did too. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're resisting. This is uncomfortable. This is, forget it. I give up. What am I afraid of?
The energy. That I think it's 6 minutes is the total time that you sit there and hold that game.
Right.
And it was very uncomfortable the first time I did it. Very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then it was the advanced course I did it. So I've done it maybe at least a dozen times.
Wow.
I've done it in different programs.
Okay.
And so now it's something that I kind of practice on my own, because you probably know this. If you stare in someone's eyes long enough, you start to develop intimate connection with that person. Right.
Well, there was no doubt about that. When we were done, I felt intimately connected to this dude that was in the beginning was scaring me, literally.
Research has been done. If you were to gaze into a woman's eyes long enough, just doing that alone, she would fall in love with you. If she had kept the gaze, you just gaze, like you start to feel some feelings.
Imagine that on a first date. They're like, oh yeah, I'll never see that guy. He just had this stare. He wouldn't stop.
Oh yeah. I'm very intense in my eye contact, and I believe in it. And there are some women who just can't, they can't look at me. And I'm like, why? They go, oh, I can't look at you. I can't. It's just too much. They can't be with the emotional connection. So I love emotional connection. I love it. That's the juice, man. That's, that's what we're here. We're here to connect.
Amen to that.
The word communication is the word communion and union and communicate together. Commune, So we're supposed to communicate for the sake of uniting, of coming together. Like that's the whole intention. That's what we're here to do, to connect. So I'm big at generating conversation that connection, community support. That's what I love to do.
And tell us a little bit about DJing. I know that you're a talented DJ. You've got a portable board that you travel around with. We got Monday nights coming up at George's Oasis Bar down here. That's going to include some wild Italian food. The first Monday night of every month is lasagna bolognese. We're doing that this Monday. And then after that, the first Monday of every month. And at 6 o'clock, you're going to come in and spin some tunes. Tell us about how you're enjoying your DJ life.
Well, DJing is also one of those things that I do for money, but I love so much that I do it for free. It's a way to meet people, to network, to commune, and it brings people together. It makes people feel good. I love to make people dance. So I'm doing this thing whenever I'm in town. I always do some events at George's bar. I used to live right next door. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
I just want to come play some music for my friends, have some good time, dance, and connect with people. So I'm doing it this Monday night from 6 until there's no energy left for me to DJ with.
Yeah, well, George always says if you're buying drinks, I'm open. Like when the crowd fades out, I close, and if I got a bar full of people, then I'm open. And there's nobody's walking in and saying you can't be open past 1 o'clock here. That just doesn't exist in the Dominican Republic.
No. And I'll probably DJ till at least 10. I figure maybe.
Right. Yeah.
10. Get a 4. My sets are normally between 3 and 4 hour sets, and I love it. I'm gonna play. I don't have playlists. I'm not one of those DJs that gets a playlist in advance. I just get there and I look at the crowd and I just start saying, oh, they would like this crowd. And I just start playing what I think the crowd would enjoy.
And my mother used to say, you missed your calling. You should have been a teacher. You should have been a DJ, because I can read a room and know what the next song that's going to light everyone up is. And, there's not a better feeling than moving someone emotionally with music. I don't care if it's in your church or you're watching UPS commercial, or you're watching the Marine come home and his kids running up to him. There's always a musical soundtrack, and I think they say the secret to a man is through his stomach. I think the secret to humans is music. There's something that penetrates us with music, whether it's familiar or not. Obviously, the familiar music is something special because it brings back a whole bunch of stuff, but it's so powerful when you can spin a tune and then everyone just blows up. There's not a better feeling than moving somebody with music.
No, I love it. Other than sound, not sound, it's smell. Next to smell, music is the, what's the word? How do I want to say? Music will recall memory. Next to smell and music are the two biggest things that will have you recall a memory, like the past.
Yeah,
and sense. I can hear a song, and I love it when people do it. I'll play it. I love digging in the crates, as I call it, putting on like a one-hit wonder that you haven't heard for 30 years. And I love it when a guy comes up to me and goes, man, I haven't heard that song since high school. And I was driving a 72 Cutlass, and I was dating this girl. And they just go into it. They're like, man, you took me back, and I had this, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, that makes me feel good that I played a song that took this guy back to his glory days, and he's like, thank you, DJ, So I love doing that, man.
Yeah, and you're right about the sense. I mean, I can remember being in the produce section of a grocery store and walking by a woman that was very clearly doused herself in Red Door, the perfume, and my Red Door relationship crashed on me all of a sudden. All the memories of the girl I knew that wore Red Door was immediately available for me. I'm like, wait a second, this is a 10-year-old memory that's taken me way back now because I walked by a woman that had overdoused herself in Red Door. It's amazing. And there's so many of these perfumes that I can meet. Are you wearing Red Door? And they're like, who are you? No, it's available immediately to me because it's so recognizable. And it triggers all those memories.
And music will do the same thing for you. Yep. You'll think about this. Think about, I'm 52 years old, and I can remember lyrics to songs that I learned when I was 5 and 6.
But you can't pick up any new ones.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
I still remember it. Like I can remember I would say I probably have memorized the lyrics to tens of thousands of songs. That the lyrics are they're just constantly playing in my head. There's always some song playing in my head. So when we put something to music, it makes it easier for us to remember it. When we attach it to a melody, I'm surprised we haven't attached all education to music
Immediately,
because
yeah.
Schoolhouse Rock, you know.
Yeah.
All
Conjunction,
teachers,
junction, what's your
yes.
function?
In my perfect world, all teachers would be DJs. They'd all have to train to be a DJ because they get up there. Okay, here's the next lesson. Kip it, kip it, kip it, kip it. And they would scratch the lesson in, and the whole class would be like, "Yeah, algebra, yeah." You know,
Yeah,
whatever the thing is. All my life, my battery went dead. All right, let me try it another way up. I guess I'm ran out of light, but we're okay.
yeah, you look good.
So yeah, man, that's I love that music can take people back and give people that freedom to explore their past from like a happy place. And it's almost always good memories too. People don't come back to me with now, no, to be honest, there was a few times when people came to me and said, "Hey, could you please take that song off? Because that was like the first dance of me and my husband's wedding or something. And he died recently, and that song makes me sad." You know, I have had that happen a few times. So, but for the most part, it brings back good, pleasant memories. And then to answer the thing about the Georges, yeah, I don't know if there are people in VR listening, but we would love for you guys to come out to the what's it called again? Mondays?
George's, well, it's Italian night, but George's Oasis Bar. And
Italian night to
Yep.
come out because it's not only about the Italian food, but it's about networking. If you want to meet some really cool people, predominantly it's going to be expats there, but come and join the expat network if you're not, and come have some great food. The food's delicious, and the music's going to be great atmosphere. So if you're not doing anything this Monday and you hear it, come by, check us out, come meet a new friend. You're going to love it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank
Be
you.
a new dance, you know.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. We talked a little bit about getting complete, about taking responsibility. I encourage my friends, and you know, I've got a little bit of coaching in me for sure. You know, especially when people are struggling, I'm often someone that they reach out to and go, "Dude, like, I'm hurting." And even in my men's group, I always encourage them. I give them homework to find a place where you're responsible for something that you're battling. It's not your wife's fault. Your wife is a partner in your conflict, but you can give something up, and usually that's getting responsible. So, putting you on the spot a little bit here, what's advice that you give to men and women to kind of help them work through some of the struggles that they're looking at outside of "it's my fault"? Like, again, in my men's group, I coach them to try this on. Walk through life like everything you're experiencing and struggling with is your fault, and find out where you're responsible and what you can give up and what you can work past on your own. So a little distinction that you can give people, and we're about just over halfway through here. I want to keep you on time. So, but I want to give some people some practical information.
Really great question, Jim, and acknowledge you for taking that on. If you, and I say you as in collective people, when you choose to look at life through the lens of it's all your fault and you're responsible for your life, that allows you to connect back to your power. You remember Spider-Man said, "With great power comes great responsibility." Well, I like to flip that quote and say, "With great responsibility comes great power." Okay, there's power in being responsible. So there's generally what I coach people say, always take responsibility, because that's how you grow. That's how you get. You know, you say it's on me, and you are the author, the artist of your own life. You are in control. You create your life. So whatever's showing up in your life, it's you that created it or attracted it. So there's generally three general contexts of which people view life through. Okay, spiritual development or consciousness or awareness, however you want to word it. The lowest level is that of a victim. And a victim is someone who believes life is happening to them. Man, my wife did this to me. The government's doing this to me. Those police officers did this to me. It's always something that's happening to them, and they feel powerless, helpless, and hopeless because they're a victim. The next level, as you rise up, is you are what we call an actor. An actor is somebody that's just they're not in the victim. They don't think anything's happening to them. but they're pretending. They're just going through the motions. Just, I go to my job. I'm just here. I'm going to pretend like everything's okay. And I'm just going to play the game. That's an actor. That's mid-level. Then the top level is participant. When you become a participant, that's when you're fully engaged in your life and you view life from a place of I'm responsible. Whatever happens to me, it's on me. I create it. It's all me. And from a fully engaged participant, you go out and you live your life in a way where you know that you are generating and causing everything that happens. So it's all you. And from that place, you create what you want. So it's better, much better to be an active participant than a victim. As a participant, you make life happen. As a victim, life happens to you. So my advice is to always take responsibility for whatever happens to you, no matter what it is. Look at it and go, how is this my fault? What did I do to generate this? What did I do to cause this? Because when you really look somewhere down the line, you made a choice that led to this outcome, some choice. It doesn't matter how bad of a spouse or mate you pick, abusive, neglectful, whatever they are, you still pick that person. Agreed. And that makes you responsible.
There's nothing that aggravates me more than somebody that shows up late and says, well, the kids, the traffic. No, basically it wasn't important to you, because if I told you to be here 15 minutes early and I had $1 million for you, you'd be a half an hour early. So it just wasn't that important.
With the kids, right? You'd be there with the kids. Yeah, hey, I got my kids, but I'm here. Yeah. That's true.
So tell me a little bit, in this current day and age when victim mentality is actually coached to kids, we're intolerant, we're bullies, we're racist, it's not your fault, the system oppressed you, blah, blah, blah. When we're indoctrinating our kids with this narrative that it's not your fault, that you're perfect just the way you are. No, you're not perfect just the way you are. You could be so much better. How do you work through that when society's basically telling our kids right now, no, it's not your fault?
Yeah, so I don't really agree with some of this new age belief systems. And I'm also open to allowing everyone to have their own view. And it could turn out that we ultimately discover that these new practices or methods might be effective in some way. I don't know. What I see in doing it is it teaches children that they don't have to be responsible for things. It does teach them to say, hey, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, you're okay. You can just eat whatever you want to eat, get out of shape and gain weight, and it's okay. You're pro body or there's a term that they have, what they call it. And this is just how I feel. And I'm not picking at anybody who might be dealing with some issues that have caused them to be overweight or obese. But when I see, positive body image, that's right, that's what they call it. But when I see a woman or an individual that's like severely obese and they're saying, but I have a positive body image, I'm like, you know what? I can appreciate that and I can get that. But you still are you're overweight, and that overweight is causing a strain on the systems of your body. No matter how positive you are about it, it's still damaging you. And your body was not designed to support that weight. So sometimes when I hear these conversations, I'm like, okay, I get being optimistic. I get being positive. I get accepting your body as it is. But I also believe that you have a responsibility to maintain your body to the optimal health that you possibly could, so that you could have a great quality of life and possibly even live longer, so that you could support the people in your life and do whatever it is you have, whatever your big game is. The healthier you are, the better you can facilitate that and make a difference for people. So I draw the line when it comes to being positive about something that's causing detriment to oneself. It's like, I don't know. So I believe that action relieves despair. And the only way that you're going to really deal with something that's making you feel in any way causing you some anxiety, some despair, some grief, is you have to take some action towards that thing. You have to be in action. And that's it. So take an action and don't sit back and let someone else tell you, oh, you don't have to do anything. You're okay. You're
Yeah,
perfect.
everything's perfect
Eh,
just the way you are. No, you could
Nah,
be so much better.
me just doing nothing doesn't get my bills paid.
No, exactly.
Sit
And you know
here.
what, Mike? This reminds me. I'd love to do like a personal one-on-one where you're coaching me. Just, and I think people would find that interesting. So I'll put a question to you. You know, Jordan Peterson says in Walking with God, Noah, Walking with God, I think it is, Noah and the Flood, Walking with God, something like that. But it's so freaking simple. You know, he talks about just improving your life a little bit, like 1% a day. And the compound effects of that over 90 days, you won't recognize your life, right? So my nemesis is lack of purpose. So when I'm busy at work and I'm coaching and I'm mentoring, I'm in my purpose. I'm lit up. I'm high as a kite when I wake up in the morning. When I'm by myself and I got too much free time, I'm feeling unmotivated. And right now, I want to know what your thoughts are on. We know what to do. We know how to be healthy. Like I'm going through some serious back issues, sciatic pain. I know I should be on that mat for an hour every day trying to loosen up my hamstrings and my glutes and all that kind of stuff. Now, the fact that I'm in pain keeps me from getting on that mat, but also reduces my motivation. So talk to me a little bit about pushing through the motivation when the enemy, and you know, I'm Christian, I don't talk about it a lot, but when you're in solitude, the enemy works on your mind. And suddenly you feel like a loser all the time. When you're living in your purpose, you're fired up and you're helping people, there's nobody that can stop you. So talk to me a little bit about working through the lack of motivation, maybe the lack of purpose, and the lack of doing things that you know will make your life better because you're just not motivated to get on that mat or go for a walk or not have that slice of pizza before you go to bed. You know, so many things we could do.
Wow. So there's two philosophies in the coaching transformational world about how you generate a breakthrough, right? There's one philosophy that like Tony Robbins is big on this, that people have breakthroughs when they're in a peak state. So he likes to create an environment of peak state. So to create peak state, you do things that make you feel good and intensify your emotions and get your blood flowing. So you could like work out, exercise, move your body, dancing, these things you do, you know, affirmations and stuff to help you reach a peak state, right? And then you have a breakthrough. On the other end of the spectrum, it's growth happens when you're uncomfortable, you know? So think about when you were a kid and you're a little kid and your shoes hurt your feet because your feet grew. Now it's uncomfortable, right? So growth, so there are some philosophies that we're gonna make you very uncomfortable. We're gonna bring you in a room in this seminar and put you in a really uncomfortable chair, make the temperature uncomfortable, and have a guy get up in the room and say some very uncomfortable things for you. And then that is going to generate you to have a breakthrough, right? So it depends on which one works best. Some people work with the uncomfortableness. Some people work better in the peak state. You find out which one works best for you, and then you use that method to generate growth or breakthroughs. So what I would also like to add to that is how you know you're on a pathway of growth and development is it generally will have a pattern of breakthrough, breakdown, breakthrough, breakdown, breakthrough. So what happens when you have some obstacle or thing that you need to overcome and you get stuck, you're in a breakdown because you're stuck, right? And then you'll figure out a way to overcome it. And then you have this breakthrough. Oh my God, I had this huge breakthrough. And then that allows you to develop to another level. And then you'll hit a wall again, or you're stuck again. And then here's another breakdown at another level. And then you have another breakthrough, and you just keep going. So generally, know if you're in a breakdown, if you focus and look for a way out, you'll have a breakthrough. If you don't and go back, you'll get stuck and you'll keep having that same breakdown again and again, and you'll get stuck in a vicious cycle because you didn't push through. So I say this to answer your question. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to get to that next level. The magic isn't going to happen with you sitting on the sofa with the remote control, watching your favorite, binging. You're not going to have a magic moment like that. You're not. Mm-hmm. The magic moment's going to come when you get your butt up out and you go on out at that gym and you give all out and you run as fast until you just like pass out and you go, oh my God, And what I just recently did it at the gym. And what I did by discovering it, I discovered that I'm a lot stronger than I thought because I had it. There's no way I could lift, this 200 pounds. Like, there's no way. I said in my mind, there's no way I can lift that. And the guy was like, "But did you even try?" I'm like, "No." And to my surprise, I lifted a few times. And I'm like, wow, I'm stronger than I thought. And I think that's the case with most people. We're a lot stronger, a lot more capable of achieving and accomplish things than we believe. But we don't know until we push ourselves. So if you're not good at pushing yourself, that's when someone like me, someone like you, a coach comes in and says, "Hey," or a trainer, "I will support you in pushing yourself beyond your limits, beyond your comfort zone, so that you could reach those peak states in yourself." But you're not going to get them by playing it safe. You're not. You got to go all out. You got to give it everything you got. And that's when you'll get the growth. That's when the magic happens.
How do you coach people to identify their burning desire? Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich isn't just about getting rich. It's about getting everything you want in life out of your relationships. And how do you help people identify? Because for me, if I've got an important meeting in the morning, then that keeps me from overdoing it the night before. If I'm at the bar, I cut it out early and I go home and make sure that I'm well rested because I've got something that's lit me up. So how do you coach people to identify their burning desire so that it doesn't matter what of the vices creep up on you, or the entrapments or enticements or some of your old sinful ways or addictions, when they come up, if you've got a burning desire that doesn't match, you're like, "No, I can't do that because it's not in line with my purpose or where I want to go." And it leads to the destruction of my burning desire. I think that's one of the most important elements of Think and Grow Rich is always have that burning desire identified. So when you wake up in the morning, there's no question where you're going and what you're working towards, and it affects every decision and choice that you make. I think Landmark described it this way: a decision is based on a reason. And our reasons are usually BS. A choice is something we make of free will. And they do the chocolate vanilla choose freely. Well, why'd you choose vanilla? Well, because I like vanilla. No, that's a decision because you like vanilla, because it's based on a reason. Anyways, I'm blathering. But talk to me a little bit about honing in and keeping that burning desire right in front of you all the time so there's no question of motivation.
Wow. So, yeah, that's a great question again. And that is definitely a challenge for a lot of people to maintain that burning desire. And I think the challenge is because a lot of people haven't taken the time to really distinguish what their life purpose is. When you're aligned with what your purpose is, like, why are you on this earth? What are you here to do, to accomplish? When you get that pretty clear, it will ignite that burning desire. If now, when you get your purpose and then you set a goal, like a big game, here's my purpose and this is how I'm going to fulfill on that purpose. This is the things I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to create in the world. When you get aligned with that, a burning desire will kick in. The fire is going to be lit. And now it's a matter of you taking that desire and channeling it and coming up with a plan and sticking it and finding someone to hold you accountable and your dream team support network, which is a lot of stuff they talk about in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon's book. Create a mastermind. Once you got this burning desire, write it down on paper, read your goals every day, meditate on it, like strategic, going to have a brainstorming. So my coaching to people is I generally start, when I do my Best Life program, is I start with having them distinguish, what is it that you are good at? What do you love to do? What are you good at? What could you be paid for? And what does the world need, right? I have them answer those 4 questions. Whenever there's an overlap, that's your purpose.
Nice.
That's your purpose right there. The world needs it. You're good at it. You can get paid for it and you love it, whatever that overlap is. And when you find that overlap, you go, that's the thing right there. And then I have them write down all the ideas they have that they can see that fit into that thing. And any one of them could fulfill on what their purpose is and give them that burning desire. And that's just, here's what it's like. That burning desire you're talking about. If you know you want to go to New York City and you've seen pictures, you've never been, but you've seen it You see the movies, you go, oh, I want to go to New York City. And you got that burning desire. You're going to work and bust it. You're going to get there, hitchhike, but you're going to like, I want to go to New York City. You have a goal. If you don't know where you want to go and you live in, West Kansas and it's dead but you don't know, you never seen New York, you never seen LA. You don't know, you want to get out of Kansas, but you don't know where to go, right? You don't have a plan. So you're like, I know I don't want to be here, but I don't know where to go. And that'll kind of leave you stuck. You have to know where you're going. You have to have I want to be in New York City. I want to be in LA. Or in this case, I want to be a successful radio host. I want to be a politician. I want to change the education system in my country. Once you have your destination and you have it, then that burning desire is easy to maintain because you have a goal. And what I also do when I coach people, I'll say, well, why do you want that thing, right? And I'll say, because this. I'm like, okay, and if you had that, what would that provide for you? And they go, well, if I had that, then I could do this and I could do this. Okay, and if you did that, what would that provide? How many people's lives oh man, I could change some people's life and and then what difference would that make? And I just keep asking them to have them digging deeper. And I do it at least 7 times, right? Of the why. And what it comes down to is I have that person realize the fulfillment of their goal, of their big game and I want them to see how many people it will impact, how much of a difference you make. And that like really sparks that desire. And they go, man, I could actually change the world. I could save lives. Like I could do something. I could create the next president of the United States. Like I could be responsible for something magical, magnificent happening in life. But you have to have that burning desire to do that. You have to have it. And last thing I'll say, when you have that burning desire and other people see it, they want to support you. When they see you're passionate about something and you're like, look, this is happening no matter what, people will get behind you. And in fact, there's a lot of people who don't want to lead, they want to be led. And there's a lot of people who don't want to be out front, but they want to support someone else, the front man. And they're going to say, hey, you do the front man thing and I got your back. So when they see your burning desire, you'll get support. It'll show up. So find out what you love so much that you do for free that would make a difference in the world. You can get paid and just let it rip, man. Let it rip. Like you had beans for dinner last night. Let it rip, you know?
Claudia from Vancouver on YouTube says hello, and Lyle Robinson from Nevada says hello as well. So I want to keep you on time.
Hello, Lyle and Claudia.
Yeah, just on the way out, how can people get a hold of you? And brother, I love you. I'm looking forward to seeing you Monday night if I don't see you before then, but I'm excited for that, and thank you for your time. So how can people get a hold of you, and why should they get a hold of you?
Book okay, you got some links to my my website is being redone. I had a partnership, we separated, so I'm redoing it as an individual. But you can find me on Facebook under my name, Mike Blocker, and you can find me on Instagram under Mike Blocker, your best life coach. And I'm on Twitter and stuff. Also, I gave you the link. Schedule, if you're interested, anyone interested, I'm offering free discovery calls right now. It's a call that normally is valued at $150. I'm giving them away free. I just want to make a difference, support some people, hopefully maybe get some new clients. But I put the link in the chat. Yep. Go in and schedule a discovery call. I got lots of free time. I'm kind of on vacation right now, and let's knock it out. You know, I'm hoping that a few people see it and we can create something. Yeah, that's the best way to get in contact with me right now. Just book some time, or you know, I'm a pretty active Facebook guy, so look me up, Mike Blocker, and you'll see me there. And I check my Facebook page 2-3 times every day.
All right. Links are in the show description, and the comments for Calendly are, the link is in the comments. Multiple times I posted it there. So, brother, good to see you again. Thanks for the time. Good luck on your 1 o'clock. I love you. And
all right, thank you too.
We'll see you soon. Well, if not,
I hope you sell something today, man. I hope your burning desire kicks in.
All right, brother. You too.
All right, thank you, man. Great day.
Bye-bye. That's how you do that. Mike Blocker, my guest. He's been on multiple times. And am I like propeller head today? I just noticed in my shot that I don't have my, it's kind of a distraction being a propeller head. So anyway, Mike Blocker, appreciate it. Monday nights at George's, you can catch him at 6 o'clock. He's going to be spinning tunes until about 10 or As long as you're there, he'll keep playing music, and George will keep serving drinks. 5 o'clock dinner starts at George's Oasis Bar. I've got a 2 o'clock in Casa Linda that I need to get to for some coaching, a realtor. Hey, if you want to get out of your country and you want to create a new start in Dominican Republic, I think it's one of the freest countries in the world. The government stays out of your business. It's a different culture, but it's a good one. And if you want some help relocating, I can definitely help you that. And if you got an inclination into helping people do the same and finding them real estate when you get down here, it's a pretty good living, and you don't need to be registered. Mario Dragos Cressman from Cressman Realty will be on with me Wednesday at noon. We have the date booked. We confirmed it while I was on the show with Blocker. Mario Cressman is a machine gun of real estate information. He's out of Punta Cana and Santo Domingo, and I'm starting to get the accent in my Spanish words. Santo Domingo, Cabarete, you know. So join us Wednesday at noon for Mario Cressman of Cressman Real Estate, Cressman Realty. He's got some great projects on the go. We're going to do a deep dive into that. I've had him on the show before. You can find most of that if you search his name on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. Live show. It might be a good primer for our conversation to find out who this guy is. He's a personality, a powerful speaker, and somebody that knows a lot about real estate. Here, he's from New York City. I'm pretty sure that's where his home base is. But he lives here, and he's been here for a long time. He speaks the language well, and he's got a great knowledge of the history. So my appreciation to Mike Blocker. Thank you, brother. I see you Monday at George's Oasis Bar in Sosua, up the hill from the Superpola grocery store. It's about 200 meters up the hill. Come out and get some Italian, some lasagna bolognese, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace, love, hug your neighbor.